The phone buzzed on the kitchen counter, its screen glowing like a beacon in the dim morning light. I froze, spatula in hand, as the eggs sizzled in the pan, their edges curling like my fraying nerves. It was her phone, not mine, and the name flashing across the screen wasn't one I recognized. Elliot. No last name. Just Elliot. My stomach twisted, a cold knot tightening as I stared at the name, the letters burning into my mind. Why was someone texting my wife at 6:17 a.m. on the morning of her girls' trip? I didn't touch the phone. Not yet. The eggs scorched, filling the kitchen with a faint acrid smell, but I couldn't move. My mind raced, replaying the past few weeks. Her late nights at the office, the way her laughter felt forced, the perfume she'd started wearing that clung to her like a stranger's touch. I told myself it was nothing. Stress maybe. Or the strain of 7 years of marriage. The slow grind of routine eroding us both. But now, standing in our too-quiet kitchen, the weight of that name, Elliot, pressed against my chest like a fist. "Morning, babe," Sarah called, her voice bright as she breezed into the room, hair still damp from the shower. She grabbed her phone without a glance at me, her fingers swiping the screen with practiced ease. The notification vanished. My throat tightened, but I forced a smile, the kind that felt like swallowing glass. "Eggs are ready," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. She didn't notice the tremor in my hands as I slid the plate toward her. She barely looked at it, her eyes fixed on her phone, lips twitching into a smile that didn't reach me. "God, I'm so excited for this weekend," she said, tossing her phone into her purse. "Me, Jess, and Claire are gonna have the best time. No responsibilities, just sun and cocktails." Her words were light, but they landed heavy, each one a pebble in the growing pile of my unease. I wanted to ask about Elliot. I wanted to scream it. But I didn't. I just nodded, scraping the burnt remnants of breakfast into the sink. The airport drop-off was a blur. Her suitcase wheels clacked against the pavement, her perfume trailing behind her like a ghost. She kissed me quickly, her lips cool and fleeting, and promised to text when she landed. As her figure disappeared into the terminal, I sat in the car, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles whitened. The radio played some upbeat pop song, but all I could hear was the echo of that name. Elliot. Back home, the house felt wrong. Too still. Her coffee mug sat unwashed in the sink, lipstick smudged on the rim like a taunt. I wandered into our bedroom, the bed still unmade, her side a tangle of sheets. My eyes caught on her nightstand, where she'd left her old phone, the one she hadn't used in months, replaced by the sleek new model she carried now. I don't know why I picked it up. Maybe it was the silence, pressing in like a held breath. Maybe it was the ache in my chest, begging for answers. The phone powered on, its cracked screen flickering to life. No passcode. My heart pounded as I opened her messages. Most were mundane, grocery lists, reminders to call her mom. But then I saw it, a thread with Elliot. Dozens of messages stretching back months. My hands shook as I scrolled, each word a blade. "Miss you already. Can't wait to see you. Last night was incredible." My vision blurred, the room tilting as I read her replies. Her words laced with a warmth she hadn't shown me in years. "You make me feel alive. I wish I could stay." I sank onto the bed, the phone slipping from my fingers. The air felt thick, suffocating, like I was drowning in the life we'd built together. 7 years. The late nights she'd blamed on work, the weekends she'd spent with the girls, the way she'd started locking her phone, all of it snapped into focus, a puzzle I'd been too blind to solve. I wanted to call her, to scream, to demand why. But my voice was gone, swallowed by the weight of her betrayal. The next hours were a haze. I paced the house, replaying every moment, every lie. The way she'd laughed off my concerns, the way she'd pulled away when I tried to hold her. I found myself in the garage, staring at the suitcase she hadn't taken, a small, forgotten bag tucked behind boxes of Christmas decorations. I unzipped it, not knowing what I was looking for, until my fingers brushed against a velvet box. Inside was a man's watch, engraved with a single word. Forever. My knees buckled. It wasn't mine. When her text came, landed. "Love you." It felt like a mockery. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, rage and heartbreak warring inside me. I could confront her now, let the truth spill out in a flood of accusations. But something colder took hold, a plan forming in the jagged edges of my mind. She thought she could play me, live her double life while I waited at home, oblivious. She was wrong. I drove to the airport that night, the same one where I'd dropped her off hours earlier. The hotel she'd mentioned was a sleek, glass-fronted building just beyond the terminal, the kind of place that screamed luxury and secrets. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I parked and waited, my eyes locked on the entrance, my pulse a steady drumbeat. Hours passed, the night growing colder, but I didn't move. Then I saw her. She stepped out of a cab, her arm linked with a man's. He was tall, his smile easy, his hand resting on the small of her back like it belonged there. Elliot, I presumed. My chest burned, but I stayed still, watching as they disappeared into the hotel. Her laughter floating through the night like a blade. I didn't need to see more. I didn't need to confront her. The truth was a wound, and I was bleeding out. The next morning, I packed her things. Every dress, every photo, every trace of her. I moved with precision, my hands steady despite the storm inside me. I drove to her office, where I knew she'd return Monday, and left the boxes in the lobby with a note. You're free now. Enjoy your girls' trip. I didn't sign it. I didn't need to. When I got home, I sat in the dark, the house silent except for the faint hum of the fridge. My phone lit up with her name, her texts a frantic cascade of excuses, apologies, lies. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. The watch lay on the table in front of me, its engraving glinting in the dim light. Forever. The word mocked me, but it also set me free. I stood, grabbed my keys, and walked out the door. The night was cold, the stars sharp against the sky. I didn't know where I was going, but for the first time in months, I felt lighter. She'd made her choice. Now I was making mine.